Hey guys, this is Praveen with Zugzwang Chess Academy, and I'm going to do some chess tactics on chess.com. So let me see how many puzzles I can get right within the next 30 minutes, and let me also take you through my thought process as I think about each puzzle separately. Okay, let's start with the first one. So in this puzzle, it looks like I'm playing black, and white's last move was pawn to f5. So I obviously need to find out what the best move is, and I need to check for all possible tactics. I need to check this king safety. The first thing that immediately comes to my mind is either queen c2 check or pawn takes pawn. So I already have two rooks in the position. I'm up in exchange, and his king isn't that safe. But it's not so straightforward as to what exactly I should play over here. So let me just calculate queen c2 first. If queen c2, his rook just comes to f2 and blocks my attack, and I don't seem to have any interesting follow-ups. So I don't think that's going to be correct. What about if I... Okay, what about pawn takes pawn? He has to take with the queen. And then can I play rook takes bishop? Because if he takes back, I have rook takes pawn check. Would that work? Okay. What if after pawn takes pawn, queen takes pawn, and if I play rook takes bishop, he goes queen check first? I can just play queen g7 and stop the check. So okay, this right now looks more promising than queen c2. Pawn takes pawn looks like the first good candidate. Let me look at anything else that's quite considerable. So I instantly know that there's no point making a move like queen e5 to put pressure against this bishop, because if he was to basically just escape back to e4 for example, he counters my attack, and I can't even take the f5 pawn because he's well defending it. So it has to be something that's more immediate. And with that being said, I think pawn takes pawn is forcing white to continue in the only sensible way. And I'm going to go and do that, and hopefully that's the first correct move. Yes, pawn takes pawn, queen takes pawn. And now I calculated rook takes bishop. So I'm going to go ahead and do rook takes bishop, and yes, I'm correct. Rook takes bishop, and the puzzle ends over here. So the idea of rook takes bishop is that after pawn f5, takes, rook takes bishop, if he was to take my rook, my idea was to go rook takes g4, and I have a mating threat against the king. It's really hard to escape this now. Even though I didn't see the mate all the way through, this looked promising enough for a quick and clean checkmate against white. And the other thing that I was scared of was, what if he played queen f8 check? Well, I had rook g8. If queen came back with check, I then have queen g7, basically stopping any more possible checks, and I'm up a piece as well. Okay, so that's a good start to the first puzzle. Let's move on and go to the next one. Okay, now how do I come out of this? How do I come out of this analysis? Interesting. Okay, I'm out. Let's go to the next position. Okay, so I'm white over here, and it looks like we have some kind of middle game position and it looks really wrong for black. Okay, so there looks to be several good moves over here, which only makes it harder, because for one, I can take this bishop right now, either with my bishop, with my rook, or I can even play bishop d5, pinning that rook first, or I can even just take this pawn. Now this is very confusing because I need to select the best possible move. Okay, so my first instinct is that this knight needs to be taken no matter what, because if I was to, for instance, go ahead and pin the rook, he gets to save a piece, which is 3 points, and essentially if I win the rook, I would just win 2 points because my piece would get recaptured. Whereas I have a chance to take this knight completely for free right now. I'm not sure what am I missing. What happens if I just take the knight? Am I missing something here? Another good tempo move might be pawn takes pawn, attacking that bishop first and then maybe taking the knight. Or what happens if I just take the knight right now? Okay, I'm gonna guess that in this position I need to take the knight with my bishop, because when I take it with my bishop I stop him from playing f5 for the time being because of bishop takes rook once I capture that knight. If I do rook takes knight, what's the difference over here if I do rook takes knight? Or am I missing something else altogether? Is there some kind of checkmate? Something abnormal? I don't see it. I don't see it. Okay, I'm just going to go with the first move that I thought of. Bishop takes knight. And apparently it's correct. I'm not sure what was this puzzle all about. So just a hanging piece. I'm surprised that I got such a straightforward puzzle at a tactics rating of 1956. It was a little bit confusing because I had to decide which piece to take with, but what really happens if I take with the rook? I don't see it. Is there any disadvantage? Let me just analyze this a little bit. So if I take it with the rook after knight goes back, rook takes, what am I missing over here? What's the difference? I still have threats of bishop t5. No, I don't see it. Well, I got the correct answer, but I can't figure out why rook takes d4 wouldn't be correct. This looks equally good according to me. Okay, anyhow, let's move on. That was a little strange, and I pressed the wrong button. I came to a different screen. Okay, looks like I need to come back to the... Oh my god, my PC is lagging now. 1 second, guys. Let's come back to tactics and let's go forward. Okay, so that's 2 correct puzzles, and let's go to the next one. White to play, and rook d8 was the last move, trying to exchange rooks. The first thing that I notice is that white is down a piece as of now, but there are many interesting ways to win back my piece. I can play bishop g4 check, and that bishop happens to be pinned. I can take this knight right now. The question is, how weak is his king? And it looks like the king is pretty weak. So with that being said, I'm instantly going to go for pawn g4 check, and it looks like I'm wrong. Well, this is an interesting one. I need to figure out why this is wrong. Okay, before I do that, let me go with what I alternatively thought might be correct. Maybe is it some kind of rook sacrifice, takes followed by check, and I have a mating attack? Yes. So it looks like this is more stronger, because when I now play... Are you kidding me? Even this is not right? Ah, okay, he has pawn takes pawn and then king takes pawn, and then I'm down a piece. Okay, let's retry this once again. So the first move was rook takes f5, and it's quite obvious that there's some kind of mating attack against the king, and I think I just spotted it now. Bishop takes f7, and just simply pawn g3, and that's checkmate. Okay, so I don't think I played the worst move over here by going pawn g5, but one thing for sure is that I did miss out on a much more stronger idea. So for example, check. What I was hoping was that his king is forced to go here, and I was thinking of bishop f4 check threatening mate. No, that's not mate actually. He can come back over here. So probably I would be forced to take this bishop now. But then black could simply take. I take, he takes, and I seem to have equalized it, or maybe I get some kind of small initiative now. But the point is, all this was unnecessary because I could have just checkmated the black king. So I guess this goes to show that sometimes there are good moves, but they can be even better moves, and I missed one of those even better moves at this point. So I should have spent a little more time and realized that after rook takes bishop, bishop f7 is really strong because of the mating threat against his king. Okay, so that's one wrong for me. Let's move on. I like these type of positions because it's very obvious that there's a straightforward attack I can see on b2. My first instinct is to just go ahead and take that, and I'm in fact going to do that right away because nothing else seems better. And now if I just simply play knight e3, I believe I'm winning his queen. Should I just take his queen maybe? Yeah, I take his queen. He gives me a check. I put my king back and I solve the puzzle. Okay, that was much more simpler. Let's recap that. So rook f1 intends to attack my queen. So the first reason why this puzzle is easy is I know that my queen has to be safe. That's the first thing. Number two, I also know my knight is hanging, so it would be uncomfortable to try and hold on to both pieces by just playing a defensive move like queen to d5, because that just allows white to start attacking things. Whereas in the position, I instantly noticed that b2 was hanging. So I saw an opportunity that taking that gives him a check, and I have strong moves like knight e3 which look promising, and I felt that there couldn't be anything more logical than that. So it turned out to be right, because now after all these checks and after white now takes the pawn, it's important that I don't go back, because I would be putting my king onto the same line as his rook. So I just park my king in the corner and white does not have any more attacks over here. Okay, interesting. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so we have another middle game type of position, and in this one I can see a lot of pressure against black's king. So at the moment, material seems to be equal. Whoops, sorry about that. Material seems to be equal. I need to see how I can increase the pressure against his king, and the first move that comes to my mind are bishop takes g6, creating a discovered attack against his queen, and knight h6, putting pressure on that bishop. He can't take my knight because my queen would take his bishop, giving mate. And if he was to take my bishop, I have knight takes f6, forking the king and queen. So I'm going to start deciding between these two which seem more promising. So let's see. We'll go with bishop takes g6 first. If bishop takes g6, his queen is under fire. So he might do knight takes d1. And after knight takes d1, what if I just drop my bishop back to h5, threatening mate? How does he deal with that? It's not very simple, right? This looks already good. On the other hand, why is knight h5 any different? If knight takes h5, he takes... okay. No, I don't see it. Okay, this is interesting. So with the bishop g6 variation, it looks almost crushing for white because there are very few good moves. Ooh, I missed. Okay, bishop g6 cannot be correct. Bishop g6, queen. No. What am I saying? Let me take that back. Bishop g6 does look good because if queen takes rook, I have rook takes queen. I was thinking my queen had to come back and recapture, and then my attack is gone. But over here, I don't see why I can't do it. What am I missing? Knight h5, pawn takes knight is not possible. If knight takes rook, then I have knight takes bishop, or no, bishop takes bishop, pawn takes knight. There seems to be small flaws with this move knight h5, so I'm going to go with bishop g6 because I can't find any possible good continuation for black, and all the moves seem pretty forcing. So I'm going to take. Yes, I was right. And now I think I just need to pick up this queen and I'm good to go. Yeah, that was it was as simple as that. Bishop takes pawn and rook takes queen. Simple. Okay, let's look at what would have happened had he not what was his last move? Knight takes pawn, bishop takes. Had he taken my rook, preventing me from trying to recapture his queen. The point is, I'm not supposed to play rook takes knight and try to threaten the queen again. Instead, I just drop my bishop back to h5 and I'm threatening mate on g2, which is really difficult to stop. In fact, I don't think it is possible to stop that threat. So this was why the puzzle was correct. And if I played knight h5 instead, he could take my rook, and if I took his bishop, he'd take me back. And now the point is, I can't go move my bishop with a discovered check because this pawn is interfering with my ideas by attacking my queen. So if I, for instance, go back, how does he stop this threat though? I don't see. What am I still missing over here? How does the computer think about this position? Okay, if he moves his rook, I have check, and it's still winning, it looks like. But what am I missing? Let me play this position out where I play knight h5 instead, and the computer plays as black. Let me see what he comes up with from this point. Oh, okay, it looks like I need a strong computer. So select level 10. Okay. So if I took the knight, what does the computer do? Apparently this position is still better for white, so knight h5 is a good move, but it's not better than bishop takes g6 because there's still too much pressure against my bishop. I'm not sure what am I supposed to do here. I have huge problems. Can't take. It's just too strong. No, I think queen c5. Does it make any difference? No, I just drop a knight. Okay, let's not go too much into all of this because I found the best move, but I think knight h5 is also quite playable for white. It's also a good move for sure. Okay, let's do one more for today because I'm expecting someone to come actually any moment. I forgot about that. So I'll stop at this puzzle after I hopefully solve the answer. So this looks like it's going close to an endgame, and the last move was rook takes e3. Now obviously it looks like this is going to be quite tactical because I can see a lot of possible captures and the king is not exactly safe. Question is, how do I capture? So rook takes rook on e3, rook takes back. I have knight g4, which is a fork. If I play knight g4 right now, it still is a fork, isn't it? Knight g4 looks good. What am I missing over here? Okay, knight g4 comes to my mind immediately because I'm attacking the queen, I'm putting more pressure against this rook. But if he takes my rook attacking my queen, I still have knight takes queen and it's a check, so he would have to save his king. I'm gonna go with it, knight g4. I'm correct. Perfect. So knight g4, forking the queen and rook, and the point is, after I play this, if he still took my rook, I don't have to worry about my queen because I have knight takes with check. He has to save his king, and then I collect this rook as well, and I'm doing fantastic over here. Okay, I will definitely be back hopefully tomorrow to do more tactics, but I hope today's short tactic session was insightful, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.